G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. Look, it's been a lovely week. Chilly nights. Chilly for us is 8 and 10 degrees C, but today it's 15 to 20, so there's quite a bit of cloud cover. It's going to be cloudy all day, well, so the bomb reckons. And yeah, outside at the moment there's just a sprinkle of rain, but they reckon no rain in this system really that's coming through. It'll just be a bit cloudy and overcast. So we've had a look for the next week, and yeah, just cloudy, not much rain in it, which is good because the dams are overflowing beautifully, and but the paddock's quite soggy to drive on. When I drive a tractor around or that, the water comes up on the wheels and things. So in some places, not all of it, but so yeah, we don't need any more rain at the moment. And so we're anyway, we'll just see what happens. Yeah, in that regard. Been a sort of a busy week. I always have busy weeks, but this last week's been an absolute prick of a week, and I'll sort of get into that a bit later on. But yeah, just things life chucks at you. The 65 engine, now I haven't been able to film anything on that. The reason is that the oil pump, I was waiting to order an oil pump from Sparex, and they haven't got any for this engine in the country. It says ex-UK, and sometimes that's 6 weeks away, and I thought, oh well, they got stock orders coming in all the time, so I'll just wait until one comes in and drop the order in. But with all the goings on with the Sparex site in the past and that, I let it slide a little bit, and yeah, the other day I thought, oh, I'll just see if Sparex have got one in the country yet, so I can grab it for the engine, and they don't have one in the country yet. So anyway, so I looked up Bearco, because we have parts coming in from Bearco every day at work, as well as Sparex really, and yeah, I got the parts sent up, and then Friday afternoon I thought, oh, this will be good. I'll get this oil pump, and I'll set the camera up, and I'll just film hooking all the oil pipes up before I put the sump on. I showed pulling them apart, but I pulled the pump out of the box, and it didn't look anything like my pump. And so Ross was still at work, and so I rang Ross and told him about it, and Bearco, Bruce at Bearco down in Brisbane, he went and I said, oh, the part number's right, and I checked my part numbers and I cross-referenced it with Sparex, and we should have had the right pump with the long snout for the relief valve, and but yeah, it was just completely wrong. So Bill from Bearco, he grabbed a pump out of the warehouse and had a look for me, and yeah, someone's had our part. It's been sent out somewhere. Someone's put the wrong pump back in it and returned it or something like that, because the box that he had down there had the pump I wanted in it. So there's been a balls up there somewhere. So yeah, so nothing on the 65 engine. Yeah, this week anyway, because we can't get the pump. We may. It's Monday now, so perhaps. We may be able to order it and get a little bit done in the afternoon, one afternoon this week, but look, we'll just see. We've had that much going on that shed time hasn't been a real priority just this last week. We've had other stuff happening. So I've got everything. We're going away at the end of the week, and I've spent a lot of the weekend tidying up and things like that. Just getting the tractors out of the weather and all that sort of thing. So last week I had a visit from Brett from CRC, and you can see the CRC sign up here and a bloody flash cap and all the goodies. Yeah, so he came and had a yarn to us about CRC, and he bought some stuff for the channel up, and things to try and things that I wasn't aware of that they did, and he did a little school for us on what product does what and how it works and all that sort of thing. So I've got a few things up on the blue toolbox. I cleaned all the junk out of the bottom of the blue toolbox on my steel bench, and I just had junk I've had there for years. So I cleaned that out and I've put CRC product up there, one for a display and two, yeah, I can just see what stocks I have of what they have. And it's quite interesting when you talk to the reps, and you know, they've been schooled up by the chemist or something like that on what goes on, and yeah, the product that you think, oh yeah, that'll be okay, and they suggest another one and they say, well, this does that, and you think, oh shit, I never knew that. So, so there you go. It was an interesting thing. They brought up a heap of stuff, and ongoing with Bundy Bear's shed, if we need brake cleaner or you know, battery maintenance product, the glue for the gaskets. I have used like a little spray of bear glue in the past, and we now have this ADOS ultra high strength spray adhesive, so we're going to give that a go. I haven't used it. We will. We'll get into that. There's a couple of interesting things now with your brake clean. You have your standard brake cleaner, which is a very common product of theirs. Then there's a brake clean NF. So the NF stands for non-flammable, and we're stocking this in the shop at the moment, and Ross said to me, do you reckon that'll be right? Because you know, when they change things, sometimes they change the recipe and it's not quite as good, but I really couldn't tell the difference from what I was using to this NF, the non-flammable one. So, but then he gave me some brake clean Force. Now, Force, he reckons there's a heap more force in the nozzle. Yeah, when you squirt it, he said, yeah, like I use this for carbies and things like that. So he said that there, they've got a heap more sting in the can. So probably use it quicker, but the heap more sting in the can. So you can actually put the tube on and blow that down through carby jets and that, and the extra pressure will help clean stuff out. Yet to try it. Don't know how it goes. And the other thing he dropped in is brake cleaner WB, because I was telling him, you know, brake cleaner is one of the things I use a lot of in Bundy Bear's shed. So WB is water-based, and no volatile organic vapours, non-flammable, non-toxic, automotive parts and industrial machinery. You can probably drink. Don't do that. Yeah, so yeah, water-based, powerful, heavy-duty cleaner, non-flammable, non-toxic, non-corrosive, solvent-free, biodegradable, and non-staining. Has no volatile organic vapours, making it safer to use in confined spaces. So if that works, I'll probably swing over to that. Well, I've got no reason to believe it won't work, but yeah, just with all the stuff, you know, some of the stuff we've been using for years and years, it's not good for you. So, yeah, but look, it'll just be interesting to give that a run. He knows how to sweet talk, that Brett, because he come up with a bloody beautiful big, it's a used 52 litre CRC esky. They used to have it, he said, at the trade shows and that, where they gave drinks, and he's only been there a few months, and he said, what's those eskies? And they said, oh, they're the old trade ones. We don't, you know, they don't use them anymore. And he said, mind if I give some of them away? So we trotted in with one of them, and a 52 litre esky just full of cans and bits and pieces. So up the top, I don't know if you can see, up the top there's some rust converter for us to try out. Now that's for on panels and all that. Now that stuff, he tells me it needs a little bit of rust to etch into, and this biodegreaser, he wants me to give that a run and see how that goes. Yeah, he reckons that's good gear. Concentrate makes up to 100 litres. I tend to, with my old tractors and things like that, I tend to run degreaser stronger, especially when I get a new one in that's going to be painted. And I have an old workshop degreaser now, and it's very caustic and it eats the paint away. And I love that for getting something ready for painting. You know, it really etches in. But there's another couple of things that that were interesting. And you have your normal CRC 556, and it's the one that's just a water dispersant, toolbox in a can. Give it a squirt on the door hinge and all that sort of stuff, just a standard thing. They have this little nozzle on them now, and that folds down and it just sprays normal. Pull the nozzle out and it gives you direction. Or you don't lose. I suppose you can all remember. See these little tubes here? They used to sit on the top of the cap, and see this one here's got it missing, and so you could put that in the nozzle and away you go. But you'd always lose that. So they've come up with this idea of this new head. So it seems to work well. But yeah, you have your 556 for your toolbox in a can stuff, but then there's 336, which is basically the same product, but if you notice, like WD-40 type products, the 556, it's like a lubricant, but it doesn't leave a residue much. The 336, I noticed A-Bomb uses it on his milling machine and that, and it leaves an oily film that'll stay for a lot longer. But then he's telling me that there's a 6, anything that starts with 6, like 656 or whatever it is, that's a marine one. And he said, that is the duck's nuts. So I'm going to get some of that. And he said, oh, you can chuck a bolt outside and it won't rust. And I said, you know we're going to test that, don't you? So I'm going to get a couple of bolts off an old wheel or some bloody thing, and we're going to set it out the front. We're going to spray one with the marine one and one with the standard one, and we might do 3 or 4 in a row and just sit them all out on the same bit of tin or something, and we're going to try it. Just for the fun of it, and see how we go. But this stuff here, he says, you want some of that? And I'd penetrate. And he's telling me, he says, that stuff there, they've got a mad scientist. I think you call them chemists. And he said he was talking to him about this stuff, and this penetrate, he reckons it gets in, it penetrates 10 times better than, say, the 556 product. And I thought, oh yeah, salesman. But anyway, I thought, oh well, I've heard all this before, over the years, and you think, oh yeah, bloody, like inox. Inox was always a reasonable product, and I think in America you have a Croyle, but we don't have that in Australia. But anyway, this CRC penetrate, high-speed penetrant, and I thought, oh well, see what happens. But on my compressor, you notice I made a little gasket a month or 2 ago now on my compressor, and my compressor wasn't sounding quite right, so I pulled that head off again, and I thought, oh, I must have blown that gasket, and I have the genuine gaskets there now. So I thought, look, I'll pop the head off and have a look. And what had happened was one of the reed valves on the old plate broke, and I had the new plate, and if you remember, the new plate here doesn't have the hole drilled in, but the other plate was good. So I thought, well, I'll take the reed valves off this new reed valve plate and put on the old plate with the holes in that in it. So they had two standard flat blade screws holding it on, and I could get one undone, but this other fella, you can see how I've bashed it and flattened it out and done all that trying to get it out, and I ginned with that thing and ginned with it, and I thought, you bastard with things. So anyway, you can get to the back of the screws through the plate here. So I gave it a squirt with this penetrate, and I thought, well, see if it makes any difference, and I wasn't really expecting it to. But anyway, I put my screwdriver on and the bloody thing screwed straight out. So after a few minutes, so it certainly worked in that instance. So yeah, I was pretty impressed, wagging my tail about that one. But yeah, after bashing shit out of it, and I could not get it no matter what I did, and I, banging the screwdriver down in the slot, and the slot was tearing out. And I sprayed that stuff top and bottom because I could get access to both. Left it a minute or two, and it really just screwed straight out. Yeah. So anyway, I'm pretty impressed with that at the moment, but we will test that on other things. And the other thing, those who watch the channel for a while know every second bolt gets anti-seize on it, never seize. And you dip it in, you get the brush and you spray, you wipe and bug around with the brush and get it all up your hands. Well, what they have now is, this is just a nickel anti-seize in an aerosol pack. So, putting all the bolts back in the compressor, I use this stuff, and look, it's just so handy. You've got to shake it up. There's some solids in it, and it settles out in the bottom. And first up, I give it a bit of a spray, and I kind of shook it, and it was just clear, but I thought, oh, that looks like rubbish. But when you shake him up and get him up, yeah, it's a really good, well, it's just a quick and easy way. And all I did was sit the bolts, sit the head studs on a bit of tin, actually it was on my welding bench, and just and pick them up and put them in. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed with that as well. So anyway, I've got a heap of stuff up there to try, bits and pieces, pressure packs of Trefolex, the tapping compound, and they've got a lot of good stuff. So I'm going to try it out. Yeah, some of the stuff they bought up, tyre shine, I'm not a big one on that. Battery maintenance stuff, that's okay. Intake and valve cleaner. Apparently on your later diesels you can pop that in your, pull a vacuum line off and put that in. I don't know. I'm never keen on those sort of products, but we'll see. We'll give it a go, and and see what happens. Pardon me. Got the asthma bit happening a bit. Usually clears up through the day, but when I hop out of bed I need to have a spit and a fart and sort it out. Yeah, so haven't done that yet. Yeah, look, through the week it was a shit week. Monday after the stew, Leonie, my sister, passed away. Had cancer, and out of all of us, she was the clean living one. And yeah, like as a young man I smoked and drank grog, and she's my only sister, there's only two of us in the family. And yeah, she was the one that didn't eat meat hardly, not that far against it, but yeah, just more vegetarian types. And she'd never drank tea and coffee, didn't like it much, but if you were going out and you say you want a cuppa, she'd I'd have a hot chocolate. So she'd have a hot chocolate, and the rest of us would have a cup of drugs, yeah. And but yeah, never drank, like, when I say never, not normally, like now and then she might have a glass of wine or something, but very rarely. Yeah, never smoked that I ever knew about. And she's into essential oils and earthy, hippie sort of stuff, and art. A bit of an artist. Did a painting and that. And but yeah, very. She was anti-COVID, anti-vaxxer with the COVID, and which sort of surprised me a bit because she was I think you'd call it a second degree nursing sister. Second certificate or something or other. She was in Auckland for a while in the emergency departments and all that, so she was well aware of what the medical industry could do, but with the COVID vaccine and all that, she was just dead against it. So anyway, that's we all have choices, don't we? But anyway, yeah, she got a bit of a flu type thing, and she was a bit crook, and it seemed to hang around, and she didn't go to the doctor for some time, and I think, and in the back of my mind, I may be wrong, but in the back of my mind I thought, well, she's probably hoping it's not COVID, she was getting short of breath and that. So anyway, Michael, our hubby, handed shit out of her eventually and got her into the doctor because she wasn't getting better, and just with this, it was just like a flu type thing. She thought she had the flu. And so they went to the doctor, and the doctor said, oh, you've got pneumonia. So they gave her a dose of tablets for the pneumonia and antibiotics, I suppose. And that didn't work, so they had a second lot, I believe. And anyway, in the end, Michael said, no, something's not right here. We need to get you in and have a test. So they went and had a test, and yeah, what the doctor diagnosed as pneumonia. She had the lung collapsed, and the lung collapsed and had moisture in it, but then they noticed some of the lymph nodes were fired up, and so they had a they sort of, she had to stay. She went to see the doctor, wasn't planning on staying in hospital, and they said, "You're bloody staying here, you're not going anywhere." And so Michael had to run home and get the gear, and then they were doing tests for cancer, and yeah, they found out it was everywhere. So apparently ran her kidneys and hip, and yeah, just full of it. So they realised it was terminal, told her it was terminal, and yeah, she said, well, they knew it was serious, but they didn't know what time. And she said, well, I don't want to know what time, how long I got. She said, I think I'll have, and they weren't sure chemo would help because it had progressed, and so they thought, well, she wasn't going to have chemo. She said, well, if I haven't got long, I'm not having chemo and feeling like shit and bloody all the rest of it. She said, I think I'll yeah, just take what nature deals out. And so they rang the kids, and the kids bolted up, and they had birthday parties and had barbecues and things like that, and yeah, had a bit of a good time. But she decided they decided to give her a bit of radiation, so she went in for radiation, and yeah, it never come out. So last Monday after the stew, she passed on, and last Thursday, pardon me, Mum was heading down there, and she was going to go and spend some time, but yeah, didn't make it. And so last Thursday, I took Mum down to the Hervey Bay Airport and chucked her on the plane, so she's down there now. So, and yeah, granddaughter, one of her granddaughters, Talia, yeah, like Talia and my mum, grandma, Nana we call her, talk on the phone a lot. So she says, oh, I don't think I'll go now. And I said, well, why don't you go? You know, like Talia's over from Perth, and you don't get to see him often, so ideal time. So anyway, we got Mum on the plane, and off she went down to Sydney, hopped off at Sydney, and Michael, brother-in-law, he picked her up and took her down to Nowra, or down to Shoalhaven. So so this Friday, we think it's Friday, pardon me, we think it's this Friday, we're heading out of town, and we're heading down for the funeral the week after. The celebrant that they've used as a family lives in Townsville now, so they're flying her down, getting her down to do it and making arrangements and that. So we've had that much going on. I haven't been in the mood for filming, but I've been running around getting firewood organised and all that. I've got my mate Paul. Paulie's coming to babysit the place. He's going to be caretaker. So, and he won't go in the house. I said, I'll give you a house key. No. He says, if you give me a house key, you stick it up your arse, I won't do it. And I said, all right then. So he's we got the pool room, and it's got the fireplace and the pool table and the 65-inch TV up there and fridge and all that. So and barbecue, and he hangs out in there. And so yeah, I wanted to make sure I had enough firewood for him and things like that. So yeah, so Paulie's coming to look after the place, but we couldn't get a date for the funeral, and because Adele, our daughter, she's coming down with us. She has to put in holidays at IGA, and we found out Friday that it's going to be on the 9th, and we want to leave next Friday if we can, but because there was only 6 days notice that she wanted holidays, well, she can have some of it, but she's got to get past the big bosses to get leave for the first day, or else if she doesn't get holidays, we've got to sit tight and we won't be able to go until Saturday. So, and look, and the idea of going a bit early is just to de-stress a bit, head down the inland road and yeah, just stop and have a look at a few things on the way and try and relax a bit. And we'll get down there, do our duty down there, and put Mum in the car, and we're going to take our time coming home again. So Pardon me. So coming home, we're just going to putt along up the coast road. So we're going down to New England, and we're going to have a look at a bit of stuff there, and come back up the coast road, just poke along, stop at a few beach stops, and go for a walk on the beach and bug around and de-stress everyone, and head back home and get back into business. So there's probably not much. Oh no, I'm going to go up the house today. I do have a couple of videos in the pipeline, or that have already been filmed, so I'm going to try and edit some of them and keep a little bit of content coming out, but we'll just see what happens. I'll take the camera with me, and I know some of you overseas like to see what we're doing in Australia, so I will take a camera with me, and while we're looking at stuff, I'll take a little bit of footage like we've done in the past, and we'll just go from there, I'd say. See what happens, but I'll try and pop a stew out. Pardon me. I've got a bad today with this weather change. So that was a shit week, and we're sort of talking and trying to organise what's happening there. And then Ellie's mum, which is young Freya's got COVID. And we've been all hoping she didn't get COVID. And if the other grandkids were crook, they'd come and stay at our place rather than get a crook, with her heart operation, and don't need a coffin and buggering around. So Ellie's mum's a nurse up at the hospital here, so she got COVID and didn't know, and she's nursing Bub, and I think Bub's got it. Well, I know Bub's got it now. Ellie's mum's real crook. It's knocked around quite a bit. The young Freya, she's she had to go up and spend a night in hospital in the COVID ward just to monitor things, and Ellie was up there with her. But now Ellie's got COVID, so if she needs to go up to hospital, she's not allowed near the place anymore. So young bloke Tim, it's all on his shoulders now, and so he's he's having a rough trot. It's his birthday today, but he's having a rough trot. So they're not coming down at all. It's just not sensible to come down. So they're going to live stream the funeral and have a look from there. So so it's been a wild old week, I tell you. So Friday, last Friday. Last week I spotted a tractor on Marketplace, and I had a yarn to the bloke, and I said, "Oh, do you mind if we come out and have a look?" So it was out at Gayndah, so a couple of hours west of here. So my mate Paulie that's looking after the place for us, he's retired, and so I said, "What are you doing? You want to go for a drive on Friday?" So we jumped in the cruiser, off we went out to Gayndah to have a look at this tractor, and there was 4 photos of it, and it was up on high clear, and I could half see the back wheel, and I thought they're those genuine centres or genuine rims. So I thought, well, it's worth going for a run to have a look at that. And I didn't ask for any more photos. I thought, oh look, we'll just go for a drive, and took the trailer and off we went. So we made arrangements with the fella, really nice bloke, to come and have a look. And when I got there, we left the tractor there. It was a grey and gold 23C, serial number 33304 or something like that it was. But the wheels that we thought were high clear, and I didn't ask for a photo, the wheels I thought were high clear, they were high clear, but they were off a combine, and they weren't genuine Ferguson rims, which is what I was hoping it was. So, and some engineer at some time, and had the Fergie hub, centre in it, but the rim wasn't the genuine Fergie one. Some engineer had made some box section fingers to go in, and look, it was a good job, but it just wasn't the genuine ones that I thought I wouldn't have minded. The tractor all in all wasn't that flash, and it was $800, and the foot plates, when you had a look, the foot plates were homemade checker plate with a bit of pipe over the foot pegs and things like that. The dash and all was good. The front apron and all that on the bonnet was buggered. But when I lifted the bonnet, there was no fuel tank anymore. and the injectors were sitting in, but they didn't have the bolts clamping them in because they'd had them out, and the engine was stuck, which they told me, I knew the engine was stuck before we went, but I thought it was worth a look for the high clear factor of it, and if it was genuine high clear rims. There's not many of them in our area, so I thought it'd be worth a try. But anyway, we went over there and had a yarn, and yeah, look, nice bloke. He wasn't dodgy, you know. We went over for a look and just decided it wasn't for us and left it there. But he had some other nice gear there we had a look at, and yeah, Dodge Tour, and he's doing up a Dodge truck for his brother-in-law, and yeah, just we got on great. And him and Paul are in the Bundaberg Vintage Car Club because he's got these old vintage Dodge, which was his granddad's. And yeah, we're talking about oldies and old tractors and that, and yeah, he said the old Dodge, his grandma learnt to drive it, and yeah, when she's parking in the shed, yeah, she's sneaking in, and yeah, she's saying, woo, you know, we're talking about horses, you know, tractors took over from horses, and just had a good yarn, and he's saying, yeah, his grandma was coming into the shed, and here she is pulling on the steering wheel saying, woo, woo, and bloody gives the back of the shed a bit of a good old nudge, because the car wouldn't stop because she forgot about putting the foot on the brake. Yeah, you've been on horses that long, you just pulled on the reins and went woo. Anyway, I think I've heard the yarn before, but anyway, it was just interesting. Interesting day out. So, yeah, we went for a drive in the country, and yeah, that was just a good distraction for a little bit. So, today being Monday, I can't work on the engine there. The parts didn't work out with that oil pump. I've cleaned the shed up a bit. I chopped an old dead tree down up in the bush on the weekend and sawed it up, and I got the saw bench going again. And yeah, I was doing look, I thought it was yellow stringy, but Ross thought it might have been yellow box. And it was good bloody yellowy looking wood, and you know, wasn't that hard to cut, and it burnt like a beauty up in the thing, but up in the fireplace. But this other one, see, you don't know what they are, they're just some grey old thing, and I knocked it down, and it's got like a red old iron bark. Well, holy dooly, wasn't that hard wood. I had the Fergie revving away, and my tip speed, you know, right up, and she's I think I need to get the saw blade all dressed, and or you know, for what I'm doing, some of the I don't know, I never know what wood's going over it, but I probably should take it to town and pop, you know, get little carbide tips put on it. But anyway, so that's a that's the thing. I had to put the carby back on. I did a couple of carbs last week, and yeah, I've been testing them on the TEA and making sure they run on the TEA and all that before I send them home. And so I had to put the carby back on and bug around with that. And yeah, I think I got a little, the tap on the side of the block, there's just a little drip of coolant there. And yeah, I think I've got to check the bolt near the thermostat housing. I think there might be, I just see a little drip there when it was flat out. So see what happens, more jobs, see how that all goes. But yeah, today being a bit overcast, I'm not sure, well, I sort of don't really want to film too much today. I'm probably going to head up to the office, up the house, and do a bit of editing. And sometimes I take the editing to work. I get in there early, I try and get an edit done, and I think, right, I can do 2 or 3 edits and do me work, you know, while they're uploading and rendering and all that sort of thing. But some days you're flat getting one done in the whole day. So with going away, I'm going to try and get a couple in the bag. And I know I've got 2 up the pipeline, so I might try and work with them and get them out ready. And perhaps later in the week I'll drop one, and perhaps next week I'll drop another one, sort of thing, just so there's a bit of extra. But yeah, this week there wasn't any extra much. It was just, yeah, just everything going on. It's just, yeah, you got to have a sort of clear mind and not be planning trips away and bloody working out which car. Oh, and we're taking the Triton. Like, we've got a 2017 Mitsubishi MQ Triton, and it's about, to where we're going, it's 1,500 kilometres each way. And I was about 1,500 kilometres from a service, so I thought, right, I'll shift the TE20 out from under the hoist, I'll get the boat down off the hoist, I'll put the Triton up, and I'll do a tyre rotation and drop the oil and, you know, give it a service. So gets the TE20 out, fires the hoist up, presses a button, goes zzz, and locks. So I think what's happened, we've had new solar panels on the roof, and they had an error there, and the bloke says, oh, I've buggered up the fuses, the phases for the 3-phase. I'm going to swap some of them around. And I said, oh, all right. And I said, you're an electrician? He says, oh, yeah, they both were. And I said, yeah, fair enough. But now the hoist won't work, and it's got power in the box, but I don't know. I've got to get a Sparky in to have a look. So I hopped up on the pulley because it's got 2 screws, and I turned one to level it up because one micro switch had activated and one hadn't. So I'm thinking, like, it was working great. So I couldn't get the bloody boat down. So I've been out in the grass. I found a nice grassy spot, so I've been laying under it, bloody draining oils and all that. I'm not going to rotate the tyres. They can wait until my hoist is going. So I've tidied up the Triton, and I've changed the oil and done all that sort of thing, and had a good look around, and yeah, fired the fridge in the back up, so we got drinks with us, or we can take a bit of tucker with us from the road. So so when we come back, I've got to get Nick in to have a look at the hoist, and yeah, see how we go. The hot water system in at the rental with Tim and Elia, it's been playing up. In the rain, it shorts out, and whoever's put the system in, they've put it a bit low, and the water pools around it. But instead of the electrical cable coming in and under, it comes in the side and it's tracking water in. But it looks like the bottom's rusted out, so we've got to put a new hot water system there. So and we've had the pressure pump on the house cycling all the time, and I've been buggering around, and I've lowered the bloody lowered the water level in the toilets and all that, but there's something going on there, and I've put a tap on the pressure pump just to cut it off while we're away, which I've had there for ages. But yeah, the bulb in the toilet buggered up, and it was just one of those energy saving bulbs. And anyway, the electrician was in at work, so I said, can you get us a couple of those bloody LED, just twist and turn type ones, bayonet type, I think they call them. LED ones, so he gave us a couple of them, and yeah, you can see with the extra light, the bright white light, you can just see it's tracking the toilet's not sealing properly. So, but we couldn't see it with the other light, like it's not moving the water at all, but you put a bit of toilet paper on the back to see if it's tracking down, and it's tracking down. So that's where our water leak has been. So, which is no big deal. We just turn the toilet tap off now, when we're not using it, but the other toilet, the toilet near the garage, yeah, I'd lowered that and I'd fixed that, but the tap's leaking now. So this morning I thought, oh, I don't know whether because that part of the garage will be open for Paul to use while we're away. So I thought I'd better make sure that's all working. But now I see the tap's bloody leaking. Anyway, I might be into Bunnings today yet, who knows? And yeah, grab a new tap but then it appears to be leaking from the up further. So the plumber that's putting the hot water system in, we're going to get him to put 2 complete new cisterns in and new taps and get all that done and do the lot. So it never rains but it pours, does it? So so we'll just see see how the week goes. It'll be better than last week, I'm pretty sure. We'll go from there, but yeah, what a bloody week. Anyway, that's how it happens. But look, thanks for dropping by, everybody. Yeah, next weekend I'll try and do a stew from somewhere. I don't know where. Yeah, tell you a bit about the week, see what's going on. But yeah, we're gonna. The idea is to probably get to say Stanthorpe. It's only 7 hours away, 8 hours away. Anyway, go there the first day, and then we'll start looking for points of interest and things like that. I've got the girls on WikiCamp, so they can. WikiCamp's it's a subscription service. You only got to pay once, and it tells you what accommodations around the area, what free camps, which we won't be free camping, but it tells you points of interest. It's got a little flag, and you can tick that, and it says, oh, there's an old grave over there worth looking at, or there's a war memorial there, or there's a cottage somewhere worth a look. So we're going to try and relax on the way down and back off a bit and yeah, unwind a little bit. We're all a bit stressed out. Oh, I suppose stressed the word, stressed out, so yeah, how you'd say it. But yeah, just with a big week, and so So, oh, poor old Mitch that works for us, his girlfriend's grandpa died the other day, so yeah, so she was a bit upset, so he had a day off for that, and he'll have to have a day off soon for a funeral himself, so it just must be something in the water, eh? I don't know what bloody works, how it works or anything like that, but so yeah, stay tuned. The content's going to slide back a little bit for a while. I'll get bits and pieces of interest out, but the stuff in the shed's going to back away. And look, it's probably for a fortnight, and I'll try and kick in and get stuff happening again from there. So, all right, that's it. I've waffled on enough. Thanks for dropping by, everyone. We'll see you next week. Try and stay safe, and yeah, stay fit and healthy. Catch you later, eh?